So, a very good afternoon to all of you. In this session, we would understand some of the queries regarding the CUET examination, the new examination which has been released this year, and that's the Common Universities Entrance Test. Now, if you have any doubts or queries, please feel free to post those in the comment section. In the meanwhile, we would take up the other queries that are there. So, to begin with, the first query that we have received is, what if I am from a different board? If my board is not CBSE, how would I manage with the CUET examination? That's the very first question that we would discuss. So when you have a board which is other than CBSE, it could be a state board, it could be a ICSE board. What you need to understand is just follow the syllabus. The syllabus is based on NCERT class 12 books. So if you are from, let's say, ICSE board, you have already covered a lot of it, but still a little different topics which are there. After your boards are over, just go through those topics in comprehensively. So that's the first thing. The second important thing is the examination is, although in 13 different language, English would be one of the predominant mediums of instruction. Why? The notification clearly says that each of the question would be bilingual. That means it would be English plus one other language that you have opted for. It could be Hindi, it could be a regional language, but the translation can vary, and in case of any discrepancy which is found in the translation, what has to be kept on a priority? The English version would be kept on a priority. So even when you are appearing for your examination and you see that there is some doubt in the regional language or in the Hindi language that you are reading, then read the English version and make sure that that English version is done thoroughly. That's very important. So that's the second important question that we have come across. The third important question is, I have given my 12th class in 2021. Am I eligible? So eligibility. Now eligibility, it's very simple. All those who have appeared for 2022 can definitely appear for the examination, but all those who have appeared even before can appear for the examination. There is no age limit. Okay, so even if you have qualified in 2020, 2021, now you want to pursue your bachelor's program, you can definitely enroll through this medium. The next important question, the common questions. So we are just taking the common questions that students are querying. The next question is, I am a student from science background. However, I want to pursue my arts. Now, what would be the best domains that I can pick? Now, definitely, if you want to pursue in science, we would recommend that you keep all the domains of the science. But if you want to switch to arts, we would recommend that at least one domain of arts should be taken as a paper. So let's say students are looking to say that they want to get admission into political science, BA political science. Now if you are looking to get admission into a BA political science program, we would recommend that you take political science as one of your domain subjects. The reason being, each university would have their own discretion. Now since each university would have their own discretion, it's very important that you select at least one subject which belongs to that domain. Yes, Sachin and others, if you have question, please mention in the comment section and I'll be happy to take those. The next important thing that we need to understand here is, let's say a student wants to do economics, bachelor's in economics. Now Delhi University has already given a ruling that if you want to give BA economics, then one of your domains should be mathematics, and that's compulsory. So in case you want to appear for economics, you have to opt for mathematics as one of the subjects. In case you want to go for B.Ed program, then we would recommend that you opt for teaching aptitude as one of the domains. If you want to do BSc agriculture, then if there are two candidates with same scores, let's say one has come up with normal physics, chemistry, maths, or physics, chemistry, biology, the other candidate has come up with agriculture as one of the domain, and they are on a tie breaking, then the student with agriculture would be given a preference. So if you belong to an agriculture, if you want to pursue your studies in agriculture, then agriculture should be one of your domains. Similarly, if you want to pursue in legal studies, law or related concepts, then legal studies should be one of your papers. Students who want to pursue languages. Now, so far, the universities, when they were intaking students for languages, they were not conducting any language test. For example, if I want to get admission into BA French, even if there is an entrance test, I would have to appear for a general qualifying paper. But now, when there is a language test, you would have French as another option as a language. So it's a good idea to take French as one of the subjects as your domain subject while you are appear as your language subject in section 1B. If you are appearing, if you want to join a BA language program, so make sure that you pick one of the languages that you want to join for your BA language program. So those are some of the guidelines. Now, broadly, the guidelines say that you can take 2 languages plus 6 domains plus 1 general test, or 3 languages plus 5 domains plus 1 general test. Now, 2 languages are compulsory for all the students, so just keep that aside in the mind. The third language would be the language if you want to do your higher studies in languages. So if you want to do your higher studies in languages, then definitely what you need to do here is you need to opt for language as one of the papers. Okay, so your one subject would become language here, and then you have an option to pick maximum of 5 subjects along with language. And if you are just picking 2 languages, which is mandatory for all, then you would have 6 domains that you can pick. There is a question from Divyanshu Swami. Is there anything for arts? Yes, Divyanshu, for arts you can have various combinations. For example, you can appear for political science, you can appear for geography, psychology, sociology, anthropology. If you are from arts, sculpture and education is one of the programs. Home science is another program. Then we have history as one of the subjects. So those are some of the common subjects which are mentioned here. So you can choose any of the domain subjects that you want to specialize. Let's say I am a student of arts in 12th and I have these papers. I want to pursue my master's in sociology. Then we would recommend that you take sociology as one of your domain papers. When you are taking sociology as one of your domain papers, what is the benefit? Even if other universities are accepting candidates who don't have sociology as one of their domain papers but have the required marks, then if you have sociology, you would have an added advantage to enter into that department. So it's simply making sure that to enter into that department, you have one of the subjects from that domain. That's a plus point, definitely. Thanks, Gamer. The next question that we commonly hear is, what about droppers? So as we mentioned before, droppers can appear for the CUET entrance examination. All the central universities would be taking admission through this. So if you have appeared, let's say in 2020, 2021, or if you are appearing in 2022, all of these candidates would be eligible to apply for the CUET examination. And each of the universities would define their criteria. Let's say a university wants to intake a student in mass communication, then the university can lay down the guidelines that we require at least a student who has qualified the domain of mass communication. Then languages is a qualifying section as per the Delhi University guidelines. So Delhi University says that if you have secured 30% in your languages, that's the qualifying criteria, and then based on your domain papers you would be given the admission to various departments. Another very important question that commonly students ask are, how many domains should I take? So how many domains is a very good question. Minimum we would recommend that you pick 3 domains. Okay, if you are a science student, you would select either PCM or PCB. So 3 domains, you are already doing it: physics, chemistry, maths, or physics, chemistry, biology. Now if you are an arts student, again you have studied those 3 subjects. Any of these 3 subjects that you have studied in your 12th would be one of your papers there. But there are other departments as well. For example, there is a department of philosophy. Now in the philosophy department, any of these subjects won't match. So what could be a good option? You can either go for knowledge tradition paper. Similarly, there are other papers where performing arts could be asked. So you have another paper on art and heritage. So that art, heritage and sculpture. So that can be another combination that you can take if you want to enter into performing arts, fine arts. So those are other departments that you want to enter into. Now, again important, computer science have 3 sections. The first is the basic computer, then you have computer practices and information practices. So all of them would be one. Now students who want to apply for geology department, for example, would have to appear for a common paper which is geography. So geography and geology, it's a common syllabus which is mentioned. Similarly, the syllabus which is mentioned for business economics and economics, so be it a student from arts stream entering into economics, or be it students from commerce stream entering into economics, would have to read the same economics syllabus. So I mentioned, forgot to mention here economics as one of the subjects. Okay, so economics is again there. Now what we recommend is minimum 3 domains you should opt for. But if you want to have your broader avenues, let's say I am a science student and I also want or plan that if I don't get into a basic BSc program, I can go for BSc agriculture as well. So there is no harm picking up agriculture as another subject. So rather than having these 3 subjects, you can appear for 4 subjects and your best scores would be counted. Okay, so those best scores would be counted. So agriculture is another a good option that you can take with here. Similarly, if you want to enroll yourself directly for the B.Ed program, then teaching aptitude would be one of the preferences that you would be checked for. So it's a good idea to opt for teaching aptitude as one of your papers there. Okay, if you want to go into yoga or physical education, you can go for physical education as one of the papers. If you want to go for yoga, physical education and yoga, one of the common papers. If you want to go for departments of Indology, Oriental Studies, then knowledge tradition systems in India is a preferred paper that you should opt for. So based on what department you want to apply for, what subject you want to apply for, you have various combinations that you can appear for. Then is the score. As we said, your best scores would be counted, and based on which department you want to join, those domains that you have appeared for would give you weightage. Let's say, let's talk about mathematics, for example. So mathematics is divided into 3 parts. Section A, which would have 15 questions, is compulsory for all. Section B would be 2, B1 and B2. B1 is pure mathematics and B2 is applied mathematics. So let's say if you are a student from statistics, or you want to pursue your higher studies in statistics, economics, or let's say mathematical applied mathematics, then opt for section B2, which is applied mathematics. If you want to go for pure mathematics, then it's a better idea to go for section 1B, which is pure mathematics, and that's for the mathematics students. But this does not end here. Similarly, we have for computer science student. So computer science students, again section A is compulsory. Then section B1 is for computer practices and section B2 is for information practices. So which department you want to join, whether you want to join the IT department or the computer science department, based on that you would select which section you would appear for. And in each of these papers, where section 1 is mandatory, you would have 15 questions that you would attempt from section A, and the remaining 25 questions you would be attempting from section B, B1 or B2, whatever sections you choose. Similarly, if you are appearing for teaching aptitude, then again section A is compulsory, general education 15 questions, and then from section B there there are 6 or 7 sections like teaching for fine arts, teaching for physical education, for sciences, social sciences, languages, and so on. Now out of those 6 or 7 combinations, you have to know at least 3 to 4 combinations and attempt 25 questions based on that. So that would be a good idea to discuss. Akshat has a question, which page you are on? So Akshat, we have already covered the class in the morning where we have talked about the detailed notification. The notification is 109 pages in detail, and we have covered starting from page 16 till page 78. The starting pages are just basic guidelines due to COVID protocol, and the ending pages are how you need to fill up your forms. The remaining section we have covered in a gist, what you need to do and what should be your planning strategy. In this session, we are specifically discussing the questions that students have raised in the comments and have raised in the email, that they have concerns regarding what domains to choose and how to prepare for those domains. Now again, another important question, NCERT books are not available for all domain subjects. Let's say for languages, most of the languages, the syllabus is just that you would have vocabulary, you would have reading comprehension, synonym, antonyms, and basic verbal ability. Now for all those languages, you need to understand that grammar is important. You are not being asked questions related to the literature. So it's not that you would be asked questions related to Shakespeare or Milton in English, but you would be asked questions related to grammar, the basic English vocabulary. So vocabulary and grammar is the important component, and once you are done with vocabulary and grammar, it's all set. So that would be the identifying criteria. Again, there are many subjects where NCERT textbooks are not there for 11th and 12th. For example, teaching aptitude, legal studies, knowledge traditions, environmental science. So here again, you would have to follow the prescribed syllabus. For example, the syllabus for environmental science is very vast. It is around 8 pages of syllabus, and the topics cover some of the major case studies. Let's say there are case studies from urban planning, there are case studies from Amazon rainforest, ivory poaching in Africa, and so on. So this environmental science syllabus is an in-depth syllabus. You require a greater knowledge, and definitely if you are willing to join a BSc environmental science program, then we would recommend you take environmental science as one of the subjects or one of your domains. The basic domains can be the domains that you have studied, but if you want to do a little different, then we would definitely recommend you pick up a domain in which you want to specialize. So I am repeating again and again, if you want to go for, let's say, B.Ed courses, take teaching aptitude as a domain. If you want to go for agriculture, take agriculture as a domain. If you want to go for law, take legal studies as a domain. For environmental science, take environmental science as a domain. Economics students would have to opt for mathematics as per the DU guidelines, but other universities can have a different guidelines. DU department is known for, the DU School of Economics is known for good mathematical economics and econometrics. So they require that you have sound mathematics, a knowledge on linear programming, etc. But there can be other departments who might not make it compulsory, other universities who might not make it compulsory or mandatory to have mathematics as one of the subjects, and then also you can pursue your economics specifically related to developmental economics and related concepts. So based on the university that you want to enter in, based on the departments that you are looking for, it's a good idea to have a wider range, because let's say if I want to go for only Delhi University, that's what I'm planning for. I have filled up the subjects with my core domain, but there is an option that if I want to opt for Delhi University, there is a probability that I could get into a B.Ed course. Then why not take teaching aptitude as another option? So it's basically what options you are taking as your domain would decide your career. Usually what happened is when you are appearing in your class 12, it's usually the two streams that students have in mind. It's either medical or engineering, and the arts students are just doing arts for the sake of doing arts. But now with the CUET changes, it becomes very clear and very professional what you want to specialize in and what's your niche area. Let's say I'm good at performing arts or fine arts. Why not pick take one of the domains as fine arts right now and join a good department of fine arts so that I can have my skills much more refined. And similarly, it works for any other department that I want to join. So those were some of the questions that I had, and we have addressed it here. Still, if you have further questions and further doubts, don't worry, you can just post those in the comment or email us. I'm also available for one-on-one free consultation for students looking for confusions while filling up the domain, what domain to take, what subjects they need to take into account. So don't miss this opportunity. You can simply drop in an email to admin@examrace.com or WhatsApp on our official number 999-800-8851, and we can have a one-on-one consultation where we can actually understand what are the niche areas that you are strong in and what could be the possible domains that you can choose. At the same time, I also recommend that don't flood yourself with too many domains, because you know which universities you want to get into and which domains you want to go for. Again, one more last important question I forgot to mention. Students are also asking about the rounds of counseling. So let's say once you are done with your examination paper, there would be an option that re-evaluation of the answer keys would be there. You can challenge the answer keys as in the other exams of NTA, and if there are any discrepancies, new answer would be accepted if you can provide it with a reasonable references. Okay, now once you are done with it, you would be marking your preference during the form process. Now let's say in the first round you marked 5 preferences, but the cutoff went higher and you were not able to get any of those preferences. So you would be called for the second round of counseling and then third round of counseling. So Delhi University, let's say, has said that there would be 3 rounds of counseling, and the third round would be a spot round. That means on the spot you would be allotted. Let's say you want this department, seats are vacant, get into this department, and that's how the process would be. So there would be 3 rounds of counseling. So make your choice much more diverse and make sure you are targeting the right department so as to get into the process much more smoothly. And the domains that you want to specialize in later should be one of your domains that you take during the CUET examination, and that would give you a good edge over others, because this is one of the criteria that would be considered, and there could be other criteria if there is a tie-breaking situation, as I mentioned. So 2 students with same score, same percentile, then the student who has taken the domain in which you want to specialize as one of the subjects probably would get a better edge in contrast to other students. So there would be varied combinations of cases that would come up once the process starts, and to just rule out all those and be yourself on keep yourself on a safer side, it's always recommended that you pick a domain in which you want to specialize. I hope my lecture sounds clear here. If you still have any doubts or confusion, feel free to email us, drop a comment here, and I'm available for your assistance. Thank you very much for joining. Wish you very good luck for your studies.